It's 11:11 and kids are having breakfast. And I had a good night. Posted the most recent podcast last night, sent the links to the very few people I sent the links to. And had a good night with the, good evening, good night with the kids. Talked to my father in the morning and went back to bed. Now, just fed the kids and I'm going to get ready and go see my doctor. I've got an appointment, for just a regular checkup. So I'm going to see my doctor. Hopefully she'll have the blood test results by now. I give them on Thursday. And I'll eat out, going to Brampton, so probably not winterlicious. That's only in Toronto. So, but I'll find something for late lunch, early supper. I'll figure out how to do it. So, hello everybody! I'm here in scenic Brampton, Ontario, just outside my doctor's office in the car. And I spent some more time with the kids. Ended up having contact with a DDRW that I had slithered with on that last 12 weeks ago. And this person was going, "That's remarkable self-discipline, 12 weeks. And I go, well, I said, it was not easy. I said, lots and lots of pushes against the pulls and pulls and pulls and pushes and pushes. And I go, it was not easy making the 12 weeks. But for people in that world, it's like if you're a daily user, 12 weeks is like almost unimaginable. So, and then this person was like going, "You want to slither?" I go, "Yeah, I want to slither, but I'm going to see my doctor today, and I want to keep going. I'm going to go past 12 weeks if I can. It'll go 13, 14 weeks, and then there's a whole money issue, and the house is getting ready, and I'm going to need to play the plumber and stuff like that. So, of all days today. But anyway, it was okay. I mean, it was, I came out here. The doctor, very good doctor. I mean, she looked at the whole blood sugar thing and the tests, and she said maybe we should do the other type of test for next time. And I told her, I said it was 14 weeks. The previous time until the last, it was 14 weeks, and now it's been 12. And she was like going, yeah. And I said, well, I'm aiming for at least 14, 15. And she goes, yeah, if you could make 15, 16. And I said, 16, let's not be overly ambitious here. Let's aim for, let's aim for as long as possible. I said, and she said, are you okay for that? I said, day by day, but I'll be okay, So I'm doing it. I said, got the pushes, I got the kids, I get the podcast, I got the winterlicious, I get the, house is getting ready. Hopefully I can go see the plumber, and I'll have to pay him quite a bit. So that'll be a push. I'll be broke again. So stuff like that. So, but she was like, yeah, try if you can. Try for 15 weeks. and I go into some details with her. I don't actually hold back. A very, very good doctor. And but she was going, it's good that you can make 15, 16 weeks compared to people who are daily users. But she's like, at your age particularly, it's only one time that you could trigger a heart attack or something with, overstimulation. And I go, yeah, I know that too. That's part of the problem. So the whole age thing. So, but at least my blood sugar is okay. We know that. So it was good. I think I have an excellent doctor. I mean, if I had a preachy one and a judgmental one, I probably would have just stopped coming, But this doctor is excellent, So, and now I'm going to go have lunch. I don't know what delicious. So many Indian places around here. There's one even right in this plaza. So I don't know. We'll see. There's so many places. Maybe winterlicious makes something else. But at least I got my doctor visit, and I get the prescriptions for the next diabetes medications and for the next blood tests and every 3 months. So that's good. Bye for now. Hello everybody, I'm here at King Tandoor in Brampton, Ontario, and Brampton isn't participating in this winterlicious thing, so I just came to King Tandoor where I've been before. They have good food, and it's not a lunch special or any kind of special, it's just a regular shrimp curry, naan, and she brought some green chilies, and you get those carrot, onion thingies. So regular price, but it's fine. It's it comes to the same as the winterlicious anyway. I am not all that keen on the desserts and the appetizers usually anyway. So this will come to a little less than the ones that winterlicious, but no no dessert, So I might go to the other Indian place that had the shrimp for lunch or dinner tomorrow. Because winterlicious is only on a couple more days, but it's good. And I'm like going. I'm here. The food is good. Very nice shrimp curry. I might even have a bit left over for later. So this is like a very late lunch, and then I'll have a snack later at home. There was a PetSmart in the same plaza, so obviously, of course, I have to come here. And they have the ones with the favorite flavors are on sale. 4 for $5, or not 4 for $5. 5 for the price of 4. Buy 4 get 1 good free. I'm good. $3 each, but it's still a good deal. But anyway, I'm delighted. So if they like anything for my kids, bye for now. Hello everybody, it's the next day, and I had a good night with the kids, good morning with the kids, and it's a nice day. About 1 degree, 2 degrees, but a little bit of a cool breeze here. And I'm taking the bus to town. I mean, probably winterlicious, possibly art gallery. I have to renew my annual pass, or movie, or just walking around, or whatever. Hello everybody, I took the bus to town, and I'm having winterlicious here on Baldwin Street, just near the art gallery. So after this I'm going to go probably and renew my pass at the art gallery. It's only $35 for the whole year, so I might do that and just go to the art gallery and then head back to the kids. And I'm having a cream of mushroom soup. I have chili oil. It's not super hot, but it's good. It's sort of a different type of cream of mushroom than I'm used to. But it's good. Completely like sort of pureed. And after this, my main is going to be salmon. So like I had the other day at that place in Entertainment District. But this is a cheaper price point. This is like $27, including dessert. So, bye for now. The main courses arrived: salmon with vegetables. Salmon is a little, whatever sauce they've used and the condiments, it's a little sweetish for me. I put lots and lots of that chili oil and Tabasco, and it's sort of counteracting the sweetness a little bit. The chili oil is not super hot. It's just oil with a bunch of, ground crushed chili peppers. Dessert is tiramisu, and it's quite good. And then I'm getting a coffee too. I'm having dessert. I might as well have coffee. And I'm like bombarded on one side with the dog conversations, and the other side with the graduate students. I think they're master's students, some science area. We're talking about papers and professors and starting to go to conferences and the PhDs and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, shit. Between the two, I think I prefer dog conversation. I've got a phobia of academia. Thank you very much. Excellent. Thank you. As I think I said in the previous podcast, I have a phobia now of academia. So between academic conversation and dog conversation, I'd rather hear about dogs. Anyway, that's saying quite a bit. Oh, it's a big cup of coffee. Thanks for now. Everybody, here at the art gallery again. I renewed my pass, only $35 for the year. So, and she said if you have trouble getting it from the email into the wallet thing, she could help me on my way back. But for now, they just give you a paper ticket to actually come in, a regular ticket. And while that thing gets processed and emailed to me and everything. So if you look around, all of this stuff I've seen a few times. So we'll go this way and we'll see what else, what's new upstairs. Bye for now. Everybody, I just came up to the fifth floor of the art gallery, and I'm like, what's that thing attached to my foot? And I'm looking, I picked up something. It's a cat toy. I recognize it. It was from home. Some kind of worm. And I felt something inside my shoe earlier. So somebody must have put it in my shoe. I felt something inside my shoe earlier, and I didn't know what it was. And I'm just looking now. It's a cat toy. It's kind of funny. You're a cat person when you're walking around downtown Toronto with a little wormy thing, a snake. Slithering! It's a snake! I had a little slithering thing on my. It's got little eyes on my shoes, and I'm walking around all downtown. It's pretty funny. Bye for now. Everybody just waiting in the lobby of the nearby office tower where they let you wait, at least during office hours. And the bus stops right in front so I can see it. It's warmer in here. Anyway, hello everybody, I'm here at an Indian restaurant just down the road from me, and I actually came for winterlicious, but it turned out that I preferred the lunch menu. It's like $5 less. You still get appetizers, you get soup, you get dal, and you get a pakora, and you get more vegetarian options. And then you get a, dessert as well, just a gulab jamun. But, I think you get a fancier dessert in that. But then you get $5 more. So I'm like, this is a regular lunch for $15. So that's bought up in here. The dal was like appetizer, but I'm putting some on the plate. Rice, very good naan, and cure for dessert. Although for like $15, it's better than winterlicious. Anyway, bye for now. Hello everybody, I'm here at the nail place getting my nails cut. I cut my own fingernails, but I can't do the toenails, so I'm not sure whether they call this a mani-pedi or just I said just cutting, but I think it's a mani-pedi. But it's not the full with the washing and everything. Anyway, bye for now. Hello everybody, I haven't reported in a while because I was binging slithering. Made it 12 and a half weeks and just, couldn't anymore, and there was pulls and there was opportunities, and went really down into the underworld and in my own shadow. And I don't describe all of that here just because it's personal and it's, there's possible legal issues and there's anonymity issues. But somebody told me that, I can maybe describe some of that anonymously in Reddit. There's posts for stuff like that. I don't know how much you could say, but it would be very anonymous. I don't know, that's an option rather than actually trying to publish writing. And in the meanwhile, I do these, in which I just talk about, it's very general. I talk about the struggles and finally, but when I give in, I give in. So, and those are very interesting stories. And, I don't come out as much of a hero in it, as kind of an anti-hero, but I survived. I'm here. So I'm back to the kids. A little battered, little broker, but still mobile. And actually had a very, very close call again today because almost went back. There was a particular substance that I kind of graduated to, and with a particular person, but it was like, provider. But something happened, and there was a sort of a misunderstanding, which may have very well saved my life, because otherwise right now I might not be here. That happened earlier in the day, so... or at least, if I was still here, I would have crossed that line to much more of a user of a particular thing than I am now. So, I'm like, to celebrate, I came out to eat, and I was going to go for winterlicious, but I realized what happened is, I'm sounding kind of upbeat for somebody who's like kind of been in hell, but, the underworld, it's a very interesting world. That's why I want to share what it's like, because it's just, but I can't hear just because it's just too, no, it's just too personal and, other people involved, so I can't. If it was just myself, I probably would, but if it was just myself, then, again, I think I would probably be a daily user and not here. So, and there's something else involved, which is very, very personal. So I can't. I just, I have to hold back on that for now. So I'll do these. And, for the record, 12 and a half weeks here. So the aim now is another 12 weeks. Fuck me. But, and it's going to be hard, even though today, as I said, there was a synchronicity and a misunderstanding, which kind of, otherwise I would still be probably partying and on harder stuff. So anyway, that's what's happening. Let's eat. Bye for now. Substitute. I don't know how long I have to wait for a table. I'll check the place across the road. But this is my usual comfort food soup. Okay, I'm here at my favorite Chinese restaurant, and there's a bit of a lineup. So they sat me at the kind of work table with all the, orders to go. But for one person, I'm like, fine. So they had to bring the chili, and I'll borrow the salt and pepper and stuff when the actual food comes. But, it's fine. Bye for now. I'm in a very good mood for having majorly, slithered and, underworld. A very, very close call, but there we are. Back. That's the important thing. Bye for now. My shrimp dumpling soup, and I've eaten most of the soup, and I've saved some of the dumplings, which I'm having with this, and which I'll also pack up to take later. For a change, instead of the fish and rice, I went for the fried noodle with shrimp. And I don't know if the noodles is supposed to be, the end noodles are kind of burnt, crispy. I've never had the fried noodles before, so I'm not sure if they're meant to be that, or they're accidentally burnt. Whatever it is, good. Putting lots and lots of pepper, of course. Anyway, bye for now. I'm back to the real food, and the usual pushes extra. And I think mainly came back for the kids, and also, circumstances sort of brought me back, but I was very close to the edge. Anyway, bye for now. It's a couple of days later, and I went further into the shadow, It was a sort of a pull, a call, or whatever, and I think that those were sort of, they were necessary. I don't know, it's a long story, and I don't tell the details here. And that came up a few times during, thank you, that came up a few times during the slithering, because, people said, why don't you, describe some of these things in your podcast, and I talk very generally in my podcast. I don't want to describe the details because they're just very personal, and there are other people involved, and there's anonymity, and there's possible legal stuff. And one person said just change names, and I go, that's still a bit dodgy. I mean, as I keep saying, if you do it, if I write about it and I publish, then you can change everything, and you can say this is a work of fiction, even if it's not. But you can get away with saying it's partly fiction. If you say partly fiction, and you change the locations a bit, and then you can get away with it. But now. Another option that was suggested at some point was Reddit blogs. And there was like Reddit blogs on all kinds of things, including fetishes and stuff like that, so, and it can be anonymous, of course. So, but then that's more like, it's sort of a story, but it's shorter, It's sort of, I could include the things in there, but I don't hold back from podcasts. So from the podcast, from here, I will just say that I went further into the shadow, some very interesting experiences. So what I keep saying about the so-called underworld, or the which contains both unimaginable delights and unspeakable horrors. And I think in my first leg of the journey, that was like Tuesday and Wednesday, it was more unspeakable horror. But then, I think Thursday and Friday, or Friday and Saturday, whatever it was, the second leg, part 2, it was more, there was some unimaginable delights as well. But it was deeper, And part of the unspeakable horrors is what happens to me, which is, doesn't bother me, but kind of it's sometimes a little difficult for other people because I shift, and I don't want to talk about that more. I don't mind discussing it, but it's just too open a forum here, So I do regress, and I've said that before, and I become, I become like Michael the alpaca with on Useless Farm with like one brain cell thinking about, sometimes not even one. But that's part of the point of the slither, because it's my shadow. It's the opposite of what I am. Normally I'm articulate and relatively intelligent, but when I'm there, I become the absolute opposite. When I'm really, really in that underworld. That's, for me, that's sort of an unspeakable horror, because it's just not me. But on the other hand, I guess that's kind of what, it's the opposite of what I am, so there must be some kind of delight in it, So that's, anyway, it's very difficult to describe this shit without being more, specific, But that's as far as I want to say for now. The main thing is I did a lot of stuff and I survived, And I was very careful as usual about the driving stuff and, all of that, And so cabbed when possible and all of that. And when not possible, just waited. So that was, as always, quite frugal. And I also keep saying in these things that that's why I want to try to share more of the details and to publish the stories or talk about them more openly here, because I don't think anyone has actually written or talked about the world that I experience, that I explore non-judgmentally. It's usually I was a junkie and that was bad, and let's help the poor junkies become sober. That's the 12-step thing. That's never been my thing. Anyone who's watched any of my podcasts knows that's not my thing. So I want to slow down. I want to stop just because I've got the pushes. I want to live long enough to publish my work and share the stories, and I have my cat kids to look after, and all of those other things. So and I have some civilian friends. So I have reasons to try to turn back from the edge. And this last binge, I went over the edge. It was really, really over the edge. But by a thread, I kind of pulled myself back. And yesterday, I had a little bit of, and I'm not going to go into the details of all of this, but there was a little tiny bit of something left over, and that was enough. And the whole thing with me is, I can't get anything out of that unless I'm doing, I'm slithering. I mean, that, and again, I don't want to describe all of that more. So it would not have been enough for an actual thing, but it would have got me started. So if I had had that, I probably would have gone to find another avenue today, and finances and danger and not sleeping and all of that stuff. I wouldn't be making this right now. I'd be slithering, somewhere, in some motel or something. So I'm just like, no. Last night I managed to. There was a tiny bit left. I even have a dream, and I threw the stuff out. I'm not even going to say what it was, but I threw the stuff out, and I just did it quickly I just flushed it. I had a dream in which I was telling someone I flushed some leftover, stuff, and the person said, and I said it was only about half a gram, and the person I was talking to said, "You idiot! It was more like a gram." I think it was actually half a gram, but I don't know. Who knows? But I'm having dreams about this shit. Now that's as explicit as I ever want to get about talking about this, because as I said, and I'm not going to say what it was. I'm not going to say it was legal, illegal. I'm not going to say. I mean, I could even be making this stuff up. So for legal purposes, that's my disclaimer. I could even be just making this up. So and I don't think that law enforcement is going to be watching Nutty Professor podcast to see did Nutty Professor perhaps do a gram of something possibly not legal. I strongly doubt it. So, but it's okay. Still, I want to be a little careful, and I am being a little cautious and paranoid and all of that stuff. So, but I am now day 2 clear, and to celebrate. And then I came out and I exchanged texts with friends, emails with friends, and I came out. This is my coming back to my ordinary world. Rechanneling, lunch, pushes against the pulls. Day 2. It's going to be harder than ever before, because the deeper and the further you go, the harder it is to come back. But I'm making day 2, and sushi always helps. So I took my diabetes medication, so getting back into the things that will help keep me in this. So we're aiming for weeks again, at least. But the last third was 14 weeks, and then the last one was 12 weeks. But the last one went deeper. And the first couple of slithers, the first days, I got hustled. I got, it was people who thought they were taking advantage of me, or maybe not, but they weren't really, because they put myself into that. So I knew that I was being taken advantage of, even though I was in a sort of altered state. So I was actually sort of okay with that. And but I really switched. It was not good what happened to me, and then I came very close to becoming a daily user with another situation, and pulled back from that somehow. And something saved me. It was a synchronicity, a misunderstanding. Otherwise, I could have turned into a daily user, But then, the binge wasn't done with me. Having gone that far, I had to, it was really hard to get out. So there was part 2. So these days, the binges are not just a part 1. They're a part 1 and a part 2. And in the part 2, I met some very, very interesting, people, or, what I call, and I say affectionately, Dusty Dumpster Road weasels, and I see myself as one. It's just I say it affectionately. It's because of people who don't follow the traditional conformist, path. People who are, sort of trickster energy. So, and there was one, and I want to acknowledge this. There's one who very creative, and you see that a lot, amongst people who slithered, the DDRWs, the underworld substances. There was one who was very, very, very creative, and also very in touch with, I don't know, the word awareness or altered realities, and, very sort of psychic. I don't know. Again, I don't want to go into detail on this, but this particular person, shared some of their notebooks and writings with me, which I'm very grateful for, and some of their, sketches and some of their poems. And there was one, and you got to remember, I was not, fully conscious at the time, but I was like, what I remember. And I love this sort of image, or this phrase, but this is the one that I remember, and I think I told her about this a couple of times, is the phrase, what is it? Sanity is a fantasy. And there was more about, reality. But I love that. Sanity is a fantasy. I was not in the shape at the time to talk about R.D. Laing, who said that, and I've got a podcast on that, that whole thing about what we call insanity is really the sane response to an insane world. I wish I could have remembered that when I was in that state, but I couldn't. So anyway, so stuff like that, So I got to remember this. Sanity is a fallacy. Anyway, that's me, Nutty Professor. I am not sane, but not because sanity is a fantasy. So I'm going to finish my food, go back home. Edit and post. Made it. Day 2 clear. Sushi. Back to the ordinary world. Nutty Professor. Bye for now. And I have to say, that's the other thing that I started that rant with. That's why I want to try to publish or share some of my writings, because, as I said, I don't think it's been done non-judgmentally since William S. Burroughs, like the last, 80 years. I don't think it's been done. And there is, yes, there are situations where you get taken advantage of, sometimes willingly, sometimes unwillingly. As I said on Tuesday, I think it was more willing for me. But there are situations where you get taken advantage of. In the past, not this time, but in the past, I have been robbed, and stuff like that, and beaten up. But that's part of that underworld. But that's a very small part, and that's just like with the ordinary world, there's good and bad everywhere. And, on the second leg, I did meet some very interesting, generous people, generous with what you share, what is generosity in that world, like sharing, substances and stuff like that, that's, and other things. So, and time is a big one, to share time and to share substances. But there are people who are, and people look out, there is a code. A lot of people some people don't break the code, but that did come up. There is an underworld code as well. And again, I can't talk about this more specifically without being too revealing. So anyway, but that's as far as I want to go. So I'm back. I'm not going to say that was fun, but there was unimaginable delights and unspeakable horrors. Nutty Professor reporting for now. I'll talk to you later. Bye for now. Everybody, I just came in the door. I haven't taken off my coat yet, and we've got one of the babies sitting very sweetly on Daddy's spot, my spot, and the other baby sitting very nicely there. And on the way back from sushi, I stopped at a bakery on Lakeshore, and I didn't realize that they're now Indian-owned, so there's all kinds of Indian sweets. So I got a couple of buns, and I got some jalebis, which I ate on the way back, and I got a box of laddus and Indian sweets in there. So better than other stuff, just very, very sweet. So I'm not sure what that's going to do for my diabetes, but I'm back on the, more regular medication, so should be okay. So anyway, I'm just going to take off my coat and put away the stuff, and I'm going to sit there and pick a tarot card. So, and then edit and post, hopefully. Bye for now. See you in a second. Hello, everybody. It's now just past 7. It was actually 7:11 time-wise a minute ago, but 7:11 like the store. But that's actually a significant number mythologically, numerology, because 7. Everyone knows 7 is very mythological, and the so-called lucky sevens. And then 11 is represents, I think, regeneration, redemption, because it's start of the new decade. And people say you're supposed to make a wish at 11:11. That came up a couple of times when I was slithering. So did numerology, because I did meet someone who was also interested in this stuff. So anyway, I'm just going to. I was doing a shuffle of the cards, and I think I mentioned that the person who taught me said, and I don't do a proper reading, I just select a card, but the person who taught me said you're supposed to feel the heat, but I do it my own way. And when and I was shuffling, and there was a particular card that just seemed to not heat, but the energy that I just kind of feel from it. For some reason this one's sticking out. So why don't we do it? Let's do it now. What card is it? Queen of Swords. Okay. Woman, over 25 years, brown eyes and brown hair. Cold, hard, demanding, authority. That's very interesting. Now, let me just look it up on my other phone. Very, very interesting. And as usual, appropriate. I'm just looking it up on my other phone. Queen of Swords tarot card meanings. Queen of Swords suggests that you have an innate ability to tell it like it is. You are a quick thinker and highly perceptive, piercing through the noise, where was it? Queen of Swords, I lost where I was. Queen of Swords sits on a stone throne decorated with a cherub, representing the queen's softer side. Butterflies representing transformation. She faces towards the future with her left hand raised as if to receive, and in her right hand she holds a sword, up and straight, representing her desire to find the truth in all matters. As with earlier sword, clouds accumulate in the sky. Ooh, it's cloudy. Strong wind passes through the trees, symbolizing the ongoing nature of change. Well, that's pretty good for me, Yeah, there has been change, and, there's all kinds of feminine, masculine stuff going on with me. And it's when pulled upright, which it was upright, if you've asked and I didn't ask the cards a particular thing. I mean, it wasn't like about a specific situation, or wasn't about, love or finances or whatever, health. It was just general. It was sort of. I mean, I didn't do it specifically, but sort of it was challenges that lie ahead in terms of struggling with addiction and coming back to ordinary world. But so when pulled upright, if you've asked the cards about the challenges that lie ahead, or even challenges you're currently facing, a particular tarot person explains that the biggest challenge with the Queen of Swords is harshness or judgment, especially towards yourself, and that's come up many times, that whole, people judging others, people judging me, but even more than that, I judge myself, and they use their biting wit for humor, not for hurt, So what is it? It represents a person who has had some hard knocks in life, but has always come through them stronger and wiser. It can be represent being divorced or single. Instead of much of very good. It's very interesting, So I would say that's the wrong thing. So I think that's a very good card to pick, and I'm going to reflect on this. I don't know what this 25 years brown eye, cold, hard, demeaning authority means. That's right on the card. I don't know where that came from. But that kind of fits with what I was reading there. So, and we had a few tarot card picks ago, which means a few binges ago. We had the Hierophant, and we had the High Priestess, So there's sort of masculine and feminine stuff going. Again, I don't take any of the stuff literally. But I'm open to it. I'm open to open to anything, So I kind of lean more towards this stuff than the so-called quote scientific unquote at the moment, just because of where I am and where I've been, and the stuff that has been opening for me, and my being allowed to go where I go and come back and survive again and again and again, and having the resources to do it, which are diminishing kind of rapidly, but it's okay. We'll keep going, But for now, at least 12 weeks. I'm going to be very tough because I went so much deeper than I ever have before, And this is day 2. So there's a lot more I can say, but for now, the great thing is I'm back. I'm still here. I'm back. Nutty Professor, little psycho, Definitely, the whole Sanity is a fantasy thing. No, the Nutty Professor has not been sane for a long time. Remember? I'm called the Nutty. That's the name. That's my title. That's my the Nutty Professor. I haven't been sane in many years. So the only thing has been to try to keep from going from nutty to psycho and psycho to. Oh, it's crazy right over there. I think we're past the psycho, actually. We're towards the top chakra. I was trying to explain chakras, too, when I had like one brain cell and it was kind of hard. So anyway, Kundalini. So you know what? Enough. Still here. Still not slithering for now. Still battling. We're, still moving forward, So we'll keep you posted, So from the 4 of us, from one baby there and one baby there hiding under the bed because I was in kind of ranting mode there. So you got one baby there, yeah. And we've got Agita here. So from the 3 kids and myself, the nuttiest, craziest, most fucked up professor to ever walk the face of this earth. Gonna keep going, one day at a time. Bye for now. See you next podcast. A little bonus footage, put the babies there, get it there. And I just wanted to add, if any of my fellow Dusty Lumps and Weasels, explorers, psychonauts, whatever you want to call them, if anyone, very unlikely, but if anyone, out of my 15 to 20 viewers, but if any other, slitherers happen to see this, all I have to say is, stay safe. Bye for now.